Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Jukebox Junkies, a podcast where we discuss music industry trends, topics, and pop culture moments. On today's show, we return from our holiday hiatus, and the spotlight is all on Chelsey today as she reveals her 20 favorite and least favorite songs of the year. So, Chelsey, are you ready?
I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready.
Did you have a good holiday break?
I did. I was very lazy. I watched a lot of Survivor. I hung out with my dog. It was awesome.
That's good. I wish I could have been lazy and hung out with my dog. I think I need to have like this big old social life. So I was literally out like literally every day for like 2 weeks. So I'm tired.
I understand.
I'm like, oh, I don't have schoolwork for the next 2 weeks. I'm gonna be at a bar every day,
I'm
and I
gonna
can't
fit in
afford
as
that.
much as I can.
Exactly. And trust me, I did. It was something. But anyway, so let's start. If you just want to go ahead, let's start talking about your 20 least favorite songs of the year.
All right. I will go ahead and put a disclaimer. Like a lot of people that listen to this and know me are going to be super shocked by my 20 least favorite songs of 2020.
Yeah.
They're going to be surprised to see a lot of the artists there. Um, and it was a hard list for me to make.
Yeah, it's really hard to make. I struggled making my 20 least favorite songs when I made it. There were some songs I knew would be on there, but some of them I'm like, I kind of hate doing this to this artist, even though the song kind of sucks. So I totally get what you're saying.
Right. I want to start on that note and then we'll move into number 20. Number 20 on my least favorites is Trolls by Takashi 69 and Nicki Minaj.
Ugh, and everyone knows this was my number one worst song, so I despise it. I'm very happy you have it here.
I I don't completely despise this song. See, the thing with my list is a lot of these songs are going to be like middle of the pack songs, and like on some days they might could have made my favorites list, but on the day that I made this list, they made the least favorites. I like
Gotcha.
the beat. The beat's kind of catchy, it's got that little choo 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 choo, but other than that, I'm not impressed with. I feel like Takashi and Nicki say the same things in their verse, and I was looking for something a little bit different, something a little bit stronger. Like I need you guys to
Right.
bring it if you're gonna get back together after Fifi because I love Fifi.
Gotcha. I mean, we kind of touched on this a little bit on the last podcast. I have so many problems with 6ix9ine, the person, that I refuse to give him any credence as an artist. I refuse to recognize him as someone in the music industry. And he's literally like, I've never hated someone in the industry as much as I hate him.
I can
So, like, I've
understand
never
that.
even listened to this full song. I just do it. Yeah.
I
He's just so gross. Mm-mm.
I feel the same way about Chris Brown, so I understand. Um,
Yeah,
so
I'm not as harsh with Chris Brown as I am with 6ix9ine. Maybe for some reason I'm able to separate uh the art and the artist when it comes to Chris Brown a lot of the time, but I can't do it with 6ix9ine. I don't really know why. Maybe because the kind of crimes 6ix9ine has committed that I just can't let myself get over.
well, and that the kind of things that Chris Brown done that hits really close to home, and that's all I'm
Yeah.
gonna say.
Oh
And
yeah.
I don't appreciate it, and
Yeah. I'm not. Oh yeah.
so
I'm not saying one is worse than the other. I guess just for things that have happened in my life, I think 6ix9ine is a horrible, horrible human. But
so moving on to 19. It's Tones and I with Bad Child. Um,
yeah.
and I was really, really hoping because this song has it's a little more upbeat, but it's a little bit slower than Dance Monkeys.
right.
So I don't know. I had higher expectations for it. Uh, her vocals are still a little meh.
Yeah. Her voice just. I appreciate what she's trying to do. Like I like that it's different and she doesn't sound like anyone else like in today's mainstream, which I appreciate, but sometimes the songs in this one, like I like Dance Monkey and Bad Child. She has another one called Fly Away that's kind of bubbling under the charts right now. I just can't do it.
It's just hard for me. And like, I want to say the girl's like 17 or so, and she's from Australia, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I knew she was Australian. I didn't realize she was that young.
I'm pretty sure, like, when I looked her up.
Well, I mean, if she's 17 and making music like this, maybe I can accept it a little more.
Oh, just kidding. She's 21.
Oh, well, then she's way too old. She should be super
Right.
mature at this point. But no, Bad
So,
Child is not my least favorite Tones and I song. Like I don't ever consider it a song I like. I've never gone out of my way to listen to it. But it was, I guess, like how you say, it was just one of those middle of the pack songs for me. I just don't really care.
so at number 18, a really, really big shocker to everyone.
Very controversial, everyone. Hold on.
It's Billie Eilish and My Future.
Wow, this one hurts me. Physically, I feel pain right now.
I
So,
love Billie.
yeah, I was gonna say, I need you to explain yourself.
I even have a Billie Eilish ukulele. Like, I love Billie, but this song just doesn't do it for me at all. I don't know what it is about it. I don't know if it's because it's so slow and I can't say that it's kind of out of her repertoire because she does a lot of other slow songs, Ocean Eyes,
When the
but
party's over.
exactly, like, but it just, there's something about it that just doesn't mesh with me.
And I actually do understand that. I think the biggest problem with this song is they tried to make it an actual like big smash hit. Like I think it was promoted horribly. If it would have just been released as a song that like they just put together and they had no big expectations for it, and
Right.
I think it would have felt different. But I think hearing this on the radio just it did not work. And then like the beat doesn't even kick in until like I feel like it's like 2 minutes into the song, and it's just
Too
it's
late.
yeah, it's a weird layout. I think it's beautiful, but I think it's poorly executed.
It, to me, I was expecting like I don't know how to say it, like all the good girls go to hell beat, but like with a lyrics about your future and what you wanted, you
Yeah,
know?
I mean it's kind of what she did, and
Yeah, but the
I don't
beat
know.
was so far in that by that point I lost interest.
Yeah,
It felt too orchestral in the beginning to me,
yeah,
and I don't know, it just doesn't mesh.
yeah, and I've kind of felt that way about. I really liked everything I wanted, so I'm not counting that really in this conversation. But I guess there's like my future and her newer one. Therefore, I am
Yeah.
that there's something missing.
Well, the
Like,
more I listen to Therefore I Am, the more I'm like, okay, yeah, girl.
oh yeah, I never turn it off. Like I do like it, but I don't know. There's just something about it that it doesn't hold that same kind of like gravitas, like that huge bombastic feeling that like Bad Guy or When the Party's Over or Ocean Eyes or Bury my favorite Bury a Friend have. You know what I mean?
Right. And I will tell you, I think my biggest problem with My Future is I feel like, and I know that Phineas works with her on a lot of her songs. I know they co-write a lot, but I feel like that's a very Phineas song
Yeah, I can see that.
and she released it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's my biggest problem with the song overall.
Yeah, and that actually that's a good comparison because like this year, Phineas worked on "If the World Was Ending." He did "Lose You to Love Me." I think he did "First Man" with Camila Cabello. Like a lot of these ballads, "Lonely" by Justin Bieber. So yeah, I totally see what you're saying. That he is almost has
It's
like this
almost
signature sound that I almost Billy might need to start reaching out and working with other producers to try to get a different
right. She needs to
sound.
separate herself, especially if Phineas is going to continue to try to make a name and a mark for himself. She
Yeah.
needs to kind of, and I understand they're a great team. Don't get me wrong. I thoroughly enjoy everything they've put out, but
Oh yeah, I think they're absolutely incredible.
at some point, she is going to have to evolve a little bit more on her own.
Yeah, I completely agree.
So,
And
anyways,
we'll see what she has brewing up for us. I don't know if like My Future and Therefore I Am are, or like even Everything I Wanted. I don't know if they are prepping a new album or if she's just trying out, because they're all three so different. I don't know if she's trying out different styles to see which one people gravitate towards more to go in a direction for an album. I don't know exactly her plan, but we'll see.
we shall see. So, coming in hot at number 17, we have Ice Cream by Blackpink and Selena Gomez.
Yes, so another song that we both agree sucks.
Yes, it's just such a filler song, and I really don't care for it. And I really don't have too much to say about it other than I really don't care for it.
We touched on it when we were going over my list. It just Blackpink, I think, are capable of a lot more. Selena, I she just doesn't have. Selena does not belong in this kind of production. Like it's so awkward. It just does not
And
work.
weird. Yes,
Yeah,
that's weird. That is
that's
suspicious.
that's suspicious. Weird.
So, coming in at number 16, another shocker for the people in my life. It is I
hmm
Love Me by Demi Lovato.
Yeah. So, do you remember like maybe like 2 3 weeks ago or so when I was promoting, or we were promoting the last episode of the podcast where we did mine, and the thumbnail for the worst songs had Demi Lovato in it,
Yeah.
and so the girl that was commenting on that's my best friend, Brianna. She
Okay.
she is obsessed with Demi Lovato. Absolutely adores her. Thinks she walks on water, does no wrong. Like kind of how I feel about Taylor Swift. That's
Right.
that's how she is with Demi Lovato, and so she was so upset when like I said, yeah, there's a song by Demi Lovato on my list, which was "I'm Ready" with Sam Smith, and now then you had replied like, yeah, she may or may not be on mine too. Brianna, I literally thought was gonna throw a fit and disown me.
I'm so sorry, Brianna, that we had to meet that way. But if it makes you feel any better, like Florence and the Machine, Demi Lovato are my top two people.
Yeah,
So it really hurt me to put her on this list.
and when I think when you hold an artist to the kind of standard that you like both of us, and I think a lot of people hold Demi Lovato to, when she releases something like this, you have to call her out on it.
I mean, you do. You can't follow up sober and anyone with I love me, man. You just can't. And I
Yeah,
don't hate the song. I don't. And I get why she released it. I do. But Demi, baby girl, we all know that you love you. You don't have to let that be known. You
yeah.
know? I feel like it was another filler song.
So I saw or heard an interview with her within the past couple months talking about how she had a whole different plan for the song she was going to make this year and release this year, but then with everything happening, like with the pandemic and like all the racial injustice and stuff, she felt like she needed to make music that had more of a social message to it. So that's why she did like "I Love Me" and "Commander in Chief" and what was the other one? Okay not to be
Okay,
okay
not to
with
be
Marshmallow.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, the songs that have a deeper meaning, and I mean songs that have meanings like we've talked about. I love songwriting, but they not when you it's like this bubblegum pop song. I
Thank
almost
you.
don't want it to have a meaning. I want
Right.
it to just be Dua Lipa's "Levitating" and just be fun.
And just be a pop song. Exactly. Like
Exactly.
if you're gonna make a song about how you love me, make it a ballad, make it
Yeah.
powerful. You know, Commander in
Exactly.
Chief is a great, great song. Like, but this one just didn't do it for me.
Yeah, and I don't think I've really liked a single thing she's released this year. I liked Anyone, like I thought that was great, but I was not a fan of literally anything else.
I like okay not to be okay. I do.
It's okay. I have some problems with Marshmallow. Aside from like a couple songs, I think he is a very boring producer.
It all does sound the same.
Yeah.
But moving on to another artist that I love that I was kind of upset to put here. At 15, we have Birthday by Anne Marie.
I wish I would have remembered this song from my list. It blows.
I mean, just after her album with 2002 and then, and
Oh, I
just
love 2002.
so many good songs on that album, and then just to finally get some new music, and it's just not good.
It's my birthday. Like,
Yeah.
how, that's literally what she sounds like too. Just like it's my birthday. Like, just like shut up. Like, no, it's not. Like, I don't care.
I'm sorry. Full disclosure, I don't have the Rona. It's just a cold.
uh,
Uh, but yeah, I mean, and I really don't have too much else to say except I was super disappointed and it made me so sad that that's what she came out with.
I agree. She's one of those artists that's been like bubbling under for so long for the past like when did I think the first time I heard her was on Rockabye with Clean Bandit.
Yes,
And that was what 2016, 2017,
something like that.
27.
Yeah.
I think 17 sounds about right. Um yeah, so and then she's just been bubbling under. She had all these minor hits and I just want her to have this one that's just going to put her like over the top and
For
I'm
sure, because
I
she's a
really don't know
pop
if that's going to
artist.
happen. Yeah.
I don't either, and she still writes a lot, so for other people, so you never
Yeah.
know.
Like she almost got there to like that point with Friends with Marshmallow,
Yes.
but then she never really followed it up. 2002, even though it was great, kind of didn't hit the same peak. And it didn't hit that same kind of cultural importance. I don't know.
Yeah.
Disappointed.
Plus, she's
Rooting
from the
for her.
UK, so
Disappointed.
I
Yeah.
always root for anybody from the UK.
Yeah. Yeah. There's like a handful of UK artists that should be bigger than they are. Like in the states, they should be
Right,
bigger in the
right.
state. Like
They
Anne Marie, Zara Larson, Little Mix.
Florence and the Machine.
Yeah, Florence. That's
I
yeah.
don't know why it's so hard for them to get traction stateside either.
I don't know. I feel like the United States were so all of us, whether we like it or not, are so. I don't know if prude is the word. We just like people like us. I guess we like Americans. I don't know. Like I read an article about that one time about why it's so hard for a foreign artist to break through in the United States, and a lot of it is because we're just almost scared of people who aren't us. It's a weird American thing that's like ingrained in our brain, whether we like it or not.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was a fascinating article. I wish I could remember the details. 'Cause it was a little while ago, but
All right. So at 14, we have another song that Dylan and I agree on.
yeah,
Yummy by Justin Bieber.
I'm shocked by how low this is because literally everybody has this like at least top like three.
I there were just so many other problematic songs for me that it just ended up where it ended up.
That's true. This song is very unoffensive. It's literally just stupid. It's literally
I,
just the stupidest song I've ever heard, but it's not offensive by anything. Like it doesn't really do anything wrong other than literally just be stupid.
exactly.
And I
So,
will say, Justin knew what he was doing with this song. He knew it was stupid. He knew that everyone like it would be. I feel like he had to know that people weren't going to really like it, but I think he
right.
was just hoping it would be one of those meme songs that people just
Kind of blew
like.
up just cuz.
Yeah, like anyway.
TikTok, TikTok.
Yeah. Speaking of TikTok, your next song.
It's Boss Bitch by Doja Cat.
God, I'm a boss. I'm a bitch. Yeah.
It's just so annoying. I
Again, like, what
love
was she
dance
thinking?
music, and I just was like, what?
Yeah, I go so back and forth with Doja Cat like for the past year, like ever since she really got popular. When I became aware of her, I like her, and then I don't like her, then I like her, then I don't like her. So I don't know my feelings really on Doja, but I do know this song is not good.
This song is not good at all, like ever.
Yeah.
um so number 12 is gonna be another controversial one. It's Stupid Love by Lady Gaga.
Oh, Gaga. Going into this podcast like earlier this morning, like I was trying to really think. I was thinking about Lady Gaga and Chromatica and why, like, kind of my feelings on it and why I feel like it's not like it's good, but it's not. So I kind of came up with this thing where it feels like Lady Gaga, like, so think about Bad Romance and Telephone and Poker Face, like some of her older, like her original songs.
Yes.
They feel almost bigger than life. And I remember when she debuted, it literally, she felt superhuman. Like she felt like she was on this, she was just another level.
She was.
Yeah, she like untouchable. Lady Gaga, she wasn't even like a person, a superstar. She was literally like this deity that we were like worshiping.
Exactly. For sure. Like
And
no doubt.
now, even though I like Rain on Me, and there are some songs on Chromatica I like, I feel like she is like, and I hate saying this because I adore Lady Gaga, so please just follow me on this. She feels like she's now the grandma up there trying to do what she did before, and everyone's laughing at her. I know that's really harsh, but that's kind
No,
of how
because
it feels.
what it reminds me of is Madonna.
Yeah.
Okay. And she had like a Virgin and Papa Don't Preach and like all these great big hits. And then, you know, 10, 15 years later, which is about how we are with Gaga now,
Hmm.
Madonna had to figure out how to continue to keep herself relevant. So then she did what Me Against the Music with Britney Spears, and she's got a song with Kanye. I can't think of the name right now, but they exactly what you said about Gaga. They felt like she was the grandma trying to fit in. And for me, the biggest problem with Chromatica is they kept telling me that, oh, it's better than art pop. And it's not.
It's definitely not. And maybe if she released this album 5 years ago, maybe it could have more of a comparison, but I feel like she's so far out of, almost like she's out of touch with what's actually popular right now. It
But
just
then
it falls
again,
flat.
she's never been an artist that cares about what's popular, really. You
Yeah,
know,
she's set the trend.
she was making dance pop before dance pop was cool. So,
Yeah, she kind of revolutionized it in a way.
and a lot of people didn't like Joanne, but I personally thought that was one of her best albums.
Oh, I think Joanne's a fantastic album. I haven't gone back to it in a long time, but think about like where she started like 15 years ago and then releasing a song like Joanne or uh Ayo or something like that. It was so different and it was a natural progression of an artist. And I
Exactly.
Stupid Love feels like catering to
It's
that.
like she's trying to hit
Yeah,
that younger demographic, and she needs to just realize that the people that love her have gotten older, and
yeah.
we're not necessarily into the dun, 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 dun.
Especially because we know she has songs like "Always Remember Us This Way" in her.
Right,
Like
right, exactly.
I have Bad Romance, I have Telephone, Alejandro, Applause. I can go back and listen to those if I want Gaga dance music. I want more A Star Is Born esque style music from her.
Moving on to number 11. Um, this is one that Dylan and I disagree on.
Yes.
It's Holy by Justin Bieber and Chance the Rapper.
Yeah. So why?
Just because it has such a country feel, honestly. If you want to know the truth, it feels so country to me, and it's odd to hear Chance the Rapper on this like slow country beat. Like I don't know, it just doesn't mesh for me. Justin Bieber's fine on the track. If it was just Justin, I might would like it better.
So a lot of the problem with you have with it is with Chance.
Yes, it's just weird to me.
Interesting. So we were talking. So Chelsea and I were talking before we got onto the actual podcast. We are talking about Justin Bieber for some reason. I don't remember why, but I was talking about how I've been very vocal, obviously, about my dislike for Justin Bieber over the majority of his career. Like, he has songs here and there that I like, but for the most part, I haven't loved much of his music. Like, literally, there's maybe 3 songs in the past 10 years of his that I really, really like. But I've liked Holy, Lonely, Monster with Shawn Mendes, and now Anyone. I like all of those songs so much. So the one Justin Bieber song I actually like, you have on a worst list. So I just find it super funny. But in all intents and purposes, I shouldn't like this song. I'm not religious, and it's a very religious song. Like, I could literally hear this song on like a Christian station, like maybe like a pop Christian kind of station. It
Yeah.
wouldn't surprise me at all. So this is totally not a song I should like by any stretch of the imagination, but I do, and I don't know why.
And if we're speaking on a spiritual note, Chance the Rapper is like totally a spiritual dude, so it makes sense for him to be on there. But I feel, and I'm sorry, Justin, but I feel like you're almost posing as a spiritual person because that's what Haley needs you to do.
Yeah, yeah, that was a big controversy. I think in the past couple years is his uh, religion and going like talking about church and being very vocal about it, which isn't a bad thing,
I
but it
know,
doesn't seem very genuine.
but then again, when he was younger, like when he first came out with Baby and everything, I can remember him saying in interviews, like, church and God is a big part of my life and stuff, even then. So maybe
Oh,
just
really?
in the middle, yeah, maybe in the middle, he just kind of grew away from it. And now he's coming back to it.
Yeah, it could
I
be.
don't know.
Yeah, that's very possible. I'm not sure. Okay, so this week in music news, so we're going to start doing these different little segments to break it up, break everything up, give you guys a little bit of break, and kind of just be able to talk about what's going on in the world and what have you. So this week on the Billboard Hot 100, 24K Golden, Ian Dior's Mood has jumped all the way back up to number 1 for a 7th week. And to my delight, Dua Lipa and DaBaby's Levitating is finally in the top 10.
Yes.
And it's incredible. And thankfully, Christmas music is finally starting to fade off the chart after clogging it up for the last month. um, Also announced yesterday, which really made me sad, but I was not surprised. And I understand the 2021 Grammy Awards, which we all know, I love the Grammys, so I'm always super excited about them, have been postponed from later this month until March 19th. Ugh, makes me sad.
Me too. I honestly didn't even know this until you shared it with me, and I was like, "Where have I been?"
Yeah, well, it came out like last night. I think I
Okay.
saw it later in the afternoon yesterday.
We also had a scare, a health scare in the industry. Dr. Dre was hospitalized after suffering a brain aneurysm,
Mm,
but he is doing well now, and we are praying that he continues to do well.
yes, 100%.
We haven't forgot about you, Dre. We love you.
No, one of my all-time favorite songs is "I Need a Doctor" with Dre, Eminem, and Skylar Grey.
Yeah.
Love, love, love that song. But anyway,
All right. And Walmart accidentally released Morgan Wallen's new album early after placing the country star's sophomore release, Dangerous, the double album, on shelves before its January 8th release date.
uh,
How does this even happen?
my guess is whatever Walmart worker did that. I'm not sure where that Walmart was, if it was all of them. Like, I guess I didn't read the article too closely, but someone definitely got fired.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
But it's sad because I feel like there's so much out of artist control now, like with streaming services and like the internet, like things getting leaked all the time. And one thing they can still control is when their physical albums come out, and then that was taken away from him too.
Right.
Especially because like obviously like actual physical albums aren't really as popular as they used to be. People don't really buy them as often anymore. But I feel like in the country world, I feel like there's a lot of people that are more traditional. So I don't I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people actually went out and bought this,
Oh, for sure.
or they saw it and they're like, ah, Morgan Wallen.
I just still don't understand how that happened.
Well, my guess is it probably got sent to them probably like over the last weekend or something, uh, and they're supposed to keep it in the back like until like they probably put it out like overnight on Thursday, so then it's out on Friday.
So they
And my
just
get
mistakenly read the date
yeah
that they were actually supposed to put it out.
yeah, or it could have been like a new employee that's just like I should put these out. Like I'm not sure, but
So, moving on to the top 10 of my least favorites. It's Gaslighter by the Chicks.
whew, this one is rough. I think
I
this song's great.
uh, I wanted to think this song was great, but
So
I think in the back of my mind I was just like expecting something different, and then this just wasn't it.
yeah, I get that. I don't know. I'm not super familiar with the Dixie Chicks discography. Like I know some of their songs, but they're not an artist I've really ever dove into. Like I don't know much of their music. So when I heard this, I was almost like going into it with fresh ears.
Right. Whereas I grew up on the Chicks. Like when they said whatever they said about Bush and everybody burned their CDs, I did not do that
Yeah,
because I loved them. So I was really truly expecting something more genuine to that old sound that they have, and it's sort of there, but it's really not. They've brought in like a newer country vibe to it, and it's okay, But for me to even listen to a country song, you know, that's a plus because I don't like country. But I was really expecting I just was expecting them to bring that old school feel and they didn't. And so I
right.
was just disappointed.
And that makes sense. Sometimes being disappointed by a song is worse than actually not liking the song.
Right.
Because I think musically this song is very good. I think it sounds I think it just really sounds nice.
Oh, I mean, there's really nothing wrong with
Yeah,
the song. It just didn't bring the feel that I was expecting. And I mean,
right.
it reminds me of something Miranda Lambert would put out right now. Like it's very hip, it's very on, it's cool.
Yeah,
Like it's a good comeback song for them. It really is. And I don't know. I'm sure it probably did well on the charts and stuff, but I just don't. So, coming in at number 9, another song Dylan and I disagree on, Savage by Megan Thee Stallion.
we definitely disagree on that because I would never ever put Megan on any kind of worst list. I think she needs to be number one on every best list.
Listen, man, I
But
love the remix. We're talking about the
yes,
original
I was
on my
just about to
worst list.
clarify that.
I love the remix with Beyonce, but I do not like the original, and I'll tell you why.
Enlighten me.
I just don't want my 10-year-old cousin listening to Savage Bougie Classy Ratchet. I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? And it was just everywhere, and I know that kids are going to be exposed to stuff. I get it, but
That yeah, that is totally fair. That is a very good um argument because I think so like looking back 10 years ago, there a lot of songs, especially sexually explicit songs, they existed. They definitely existed, but they weren't
as
huge hits.
accessible.
Yeah, especially like they weren't played on the radio like Savage was, or
Right.
even like if we could talk about like WAP too. Like I heard
Right.
that on the radio, and that never would have happened even like a few years ago. But I think as TikTok, because Savage is obviously a big
It
TikTok
was
hit. I th-
exactly. And my 10-year-old year
yeah,
old cousin loves, well, she's 11. 11, I'm
yeah,
sorry. She loves TikTok. You know what I'm saying? She's on there and
right.
I don't know. And I'm all
But
for female empowerment. Don't get me wrong. I get it. I love the fact that you're a savage boss woman. I get that. As an adult, I appreciate the song. but I don't appreciate necessarily the popularity that it got and the exposure that it got to the young girls of the planet.
That's fair. I think as TikTok becomes even more and more um, important to popular music, because literally the last 2 years is when TikTok really has kind of taken over the music scene. If you're not a hit on TikTok, you're not a hit, period.
Right.
And Savage is one of those songs that I think there was such high demand for because of its TikTok popularity that radio programmers felt like they had to play it if they wanted to get people to actually stay on their station instead of playing whatever pop song like is being pushed at the moment that might not have as much of a cultural impact as something like Savage.
And I mean, really, that's just the biggest problem for me is my cousin trying to teach me the dance. Like, hold on, Addison. First off, you look way too grown up anyways. You are like growing up way too fast, and now you want to teach me this dance? Oh no,
Yeah.
ma'am. Like so,
I'm curious to see where Megan goes from here now that she's hit that A-list celebrity status. Because like when Cardi B and Nicki Minaj both kind of hit the same level Megan the Stallion's hit now of popularity, they made songs that were a lot more universally. They had a lot more universal appeal. Like that's when Nicki Minaj did Starships, or that's when
yeah,
Cardi B did I Like It, and like songs that everyone could genuinely enjoy. So I'm curious to see if Megan, like when she starts prepping like a new album or starts releasing singles from that aren't part of her new album, I'm curious to see if she does start going in that more, instead of a more like soul rap vibe, and more of a melodic sound.
right. But she's from Texas, right?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, she started as like underground, right?
Oh yeah, she started when she was in college. Uh, she just decided when she was going to get to college, she was just going to be a rapper, and it just kind of she has a very organic story. So I'm assuming you probably have the same thoughts about her new song "Body."
I haven't listened. See, honestly,
Oh no,
I to me it's crazy that I love Mulatto like I do, and I'm so like hesitant on Megan the Stallion.
yeah,
um, because Mulatto could actually be worse in some sense.
right.
But at this point, Mulatto doesn't have the exposure that Megan the Stallion does.
No, not at all. At least not yet.
So I don't know. And it's like you said, she might start producing stuff that's a little bit more, I don't want to say commercial, but it will be a little bit more commercial and it'll be a little less toned down, a little
Well,
more toned down.
because now she's at that point where like I know you don't know as much about like radio, like you're not as, because you don't listen to radio as much, right?
Right, like at
Um,
all.
like Megan, she's become a pretty big like regular like radio hit. Now she's so big. She when she releases another single, radio stations, almost no matter what it is, they're gonna want to pick up on it. And if she wants something to really stick, she's going to need something a little more in the vein of a Starships or an I Like It instead of a Savage.
Right, or even Bodak Yellow, something like that could
Yeah,
could could work, but and then still kind of be true to kind of the trap music, but with a little Midwest style too.
right.
Is Texas Midwest?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
I think so.
All right, so
Mid
let's
bottom west.
move. Let's move on to where are we on number 8? Yes, number 8, "Sign
Huh.
from Above," Lady Gaga and Elton John.
Ugh.
Um, so
Imagine 2020, Lady Gaga and Elton John are on a song together, and it sucks.
I mean, it was just Elton. For one, he just sounded so out of place on the track.
I completely agree. He sounds so awkward and weird.
Right, like I don't know, like were you nervous or I like they've worked together before, right? So what I don't know.
I don't know if they've worked together before. I know they've had like a working relationship. I don't know if they've actually worked
Done a
together, if
song
that makes sense.
together.
Yeah.
Okay. So like, and this is another one of those little tidbits I read on Apple Music, and so it really hyped the song up. And so I was super excited to listen to it. But then when I got to it, it was just very monotone almost. There were no really, really high points or even a low point. It was just, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Like I said earlier, Gaga has such a great voice that, like, especially it really shone through on Joanne and on A Star Is Born. And then she just goes back to this whole auto tune thing. And when you have a song with Elton John, I feel like you could probably just go away with the auto tune and try to
Exactly.
make it more organic because he's one of the greatest artists of all time.
This had the potential to do better than Shallow had they done it correctly. But it's
Yeah, and
overproduced and it's monotone and it's just not good.
yeah, I think what they were trying to do is I think they were trying to make this big gay anthem.
Well, and
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 it just, as someone who's very big into gay culture, it does not work.
it was just disappointing. Another disappointing song. Number 7, Cry About It Later, Katy Perry.
This one, I don't really despise this one very much. I'm not a big Katy Perry fan. I thought her new album was not good. I thought this was actually one of the more enjoyable songs on the album.
Okay, it is. It is. Like I said, this is one of the songs that could have easily ended up on my best list, right? But then the more I really thought about the album, I was like, you know what? Cry About It Later just doesn't it just doesn't carry the weight. Like
Gotcha.
to me, some of my favorites off the album are Champagne Problems and Not the End of the World.
You know,
um,
Side note, I was so confused the other day because I don't think I've listened to the full Katy Perry album. It's just not for me. But so I didn't know about the song Champagne Problems. And then on Taylor Swift's new album, Evermore, the second song and one of the best songs in the album is called Champagne Problems.
Yeah, no, that was the first thing I noticed about the Evermore track
Yeah.
list was like, oh, Taylor's got a Champagne Problems. I need to hear that.
Yeah. And so I didn't know about the Katy one. And so I thought Katy like covered Taylor's Champagne
No,
Problems. I
no,
was so
no.
so confused. I'm like, oh, just they have the same title.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, little side note over.
So yeah, just to me, Cry About It Later. I don't know. I even like Smile and Daisies more than I like this song, and I know how you feel about Daisies, so
Yeah, I think "Smile" is the best song on that album.
so and I love Katy Perry, so that's another artist that it hurt for me to put in this list.
In a way, I feel bad for Katy Perry because she was um on top of the world. She had hit after hit after hit after hit after hit. Like she couldn't miss. Like everything was so popular. She was on top of the world doing she could do anything she wanted. And
Right.
then something just like she didn't really have any controversies, like nothing really happened, but it was almost like a switch flipped and she went from this huge A-list artist to someone that no one likes.
Exactly, and
It
I
was
don't
it was
know
the weirdest
why.
thing. Yeah. Cuz like I think Dark Horse was like her last hit and I think that's like one of the 100 biggest songs of all time according to Billboard.
Wow.
And yeah, and then literally I think that was like the last single off that album maybe. And then when she came back with Witness, it was like no one
Yeah,
even cared. It wasn't even about the songs
dude,
itself. It was like,
Witness was just like, ugh.
yeah, it's so weird. Like Chained to
But
the
to
Rhythm came
me,
out, and then everyone's like, Katy Perry, who?
how can you continue to have a career as big as Teenage Dream?
Yeah.
I mean, it was just so, so, so big. That album just and the tour and everything. It was just like you can't. I, I mean, unless you're Taylor Swift. So,
Well, I was actually just about to say that with Taylor Swift. So like Katy Perry had that huge, huge, huge era with Teenage Dream. Taylor Swift's big era was 1989. Like you could say
Yeah.
like maybe like the Fearless era, but it was 1989 where she had that hit after hit after hit after hit. Like she had like 6 top 10 singles off that album. Like it was insane. But then after that, even though Reputation and Lover like did really well, they didn't have that same kind of, they didn't have those hits. They just weren't on the same kind of scale as 1989.
Yeah.
And the only reason Taylor is as popular as she is right now is because she just she's doing something that I think people really wanted her to do for a long time, and she's really like with Folklore and Evermore. So it's different than those, but I think if she would have made like another pop album, like a full big pop album, I think she just would have not really faded out because I don't, but I think she would have had more of a Katy experience where no one really would have cared too much.
Well, and I hate to say it, but a lot of that goes to her not having an online presence.
Taylor or
Yeah,
Katy?
Taylor.
Gotcha. Yeah, she's not. She's done better with social
She
media,
has gotten better,
but
but
well, I think with her, and I think not specifically Taylor Swift, but like someone like Justin Bieber or Selena Gomez, who are like so like under the public eye. I think it's really hard to keep your social media presence because every little thing you do, no matter what, is being covered in a tabloid. So I think that's a big reason. Maybe and none of this is just speculation for me, but I think that could be a big reason why Taylor only posts when she like has a new song coming out or like things like that because she doesn't want that public backlash for something she doesn't even realize she's doing. You know what I
right.
mean? Like literally, she could have a typo and misspell one word and the internet would drag her for it and it could be really
True.
bad and so that would be my guess, but I love how we just took Katy Perry and then I just somehow turned it into Taylor Swift.
No, I think I actually brought up Taylor Swift first that time.
Oh, you did. Look at that. I'll take
So,
it. I'm good then.
um, moving on to number 6, it's Little Bit with Nelly and Florida Georgia Line.
So I don't want to upset you too much. I do not like the song. I think the song sucks. It's one of the worst songs I've ever heard, I swear. It debuted on the pop charts this week. I noticed it this morning.
Oh,
So it
yay, of
debuted today.
course.
Yeah. So we
Yeah.
might be in for a ride.
I mean, and it's okay. I get the appeal to this song. Like, I'm sure the people I went to high school love this song, but they're the type of people that go out like mudding on their gators and stuff, and
Right,
they
right.
hang out, and like it's right up their alley. Like, it's talking about things they like to do. I am not a country person. I just it just doesn't vibe for me at all. It's that country rap genre that we talked about already. Like it's never gonna happen.
Yeah. Nelly, he wants so much to be a country star, but he doesn't really know how to make it happen, I don't think.
Well then, Nelly, you need to go take you some country writing courses in Nashville. You need to go live in Nashville and go to a few shows and pick up a guitar and do your own country thing and not
Yeah.
hop on somebody else's.
And Florida Georgia Line, they have a song every once in a while that I like, but for the most part, I don't consider myself a Florida Georgia Line fan.
Me either.
Oh, you know what I wanted to bring up earlier and then I forgot? So, did have you ever heard when we were talking about Yummy? Did you ever hear the Florida Georgia Line remix of Yummy, the country version?
Ew, no.
Please, like when we're done with this podcast, please go listen to it and then uh just like record your reaction. It is like you think Yummy is annoying. If you heard that version, it would be number one.
Oh,
If
and
I would
it's
have,
country?
yeah, it's country.
Oh,
Justin
dude.
Bieber puts on a country twang.
Oh,
It's horrible. It's literally if I would have remembered it before making my list and doing our podcast, I
yeah.
would have had it at number one. It's so bad.
Oh.
and they wanted it to be taken seriously. Like they tried to ship it to country radio and
Oh
everything.
my gosh, really?
Yeah, it was the most embarrassing thing I've ever heard. Most embarrassing. I felt embarrassed just listening to it. It was awful. So I wanted to bring that up earlier, and I totally forgot. So you have to go listen to it.
What? Wow.
Yeah, just think Justin Bieber saying "yummy," but
But
with a
you got
country
that
accent.
yummy yum, that
Yeah,
yummy yum. Oh
exactly.
no.
It's fake as hell, and it's
Mm.
so bad. So comparing that to Lil Bit is an absolute masterpiece.
It's a bop compared to that,
It is
huh?
a certified bop compared to that.
All right. We are now going to move into the top five of my least favorite songs of 2020. Number five is Queen of Broken Hearts by Black Bear.
This is my favorite Black Bear song, so I'm very sad this is the one you chose.
Okay, I followed Black Bear for a really long time, like since him and Mike Posner were making beats together on YouTube in a dorm room at Duke. Okay, like
Right. Was
a
that
long time.
when they were mansions?
No, no, no. Mansions came years after this.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. Like that's why I was super stoked for Mansions when they finally came back together because they had both been kind of doing their own thing, you know.
Right.
And so I don't know if you know Nikki Heaton, but she was in with them at the beginning, and Big Sean, you know, they all were kind of working together.
Oh,
And
Big Sean too?
yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
They're Big Sean and Mike Posner are both from where Detroit.
Yeah.
So anyways, I digress. But Black Bear to me, he has always kind of had he's sort of played with like that rock and roll sound, but it's sort of been rock mixed with hip hop.
Yeah,
And to
for sure.
hear this like kind of punk pop anthem that he's come out with, I just it doesn't do it for me. And I usually support everything he does, and I can't.
Gotcha. I actually really liked this one because and and I could be like I cannot talk today, damn. Misinterpreting it, but when he says he's the queen of broken hearts, I appreciated like that it was maybe more of a gender fluid song, like so it was
Oh,
nice to kind of hear something like that, but I don't know.
it probably definitely is. I mean, you know, when he was on Mansions with Mike Posner, they were both very open about, you know, being bisexual and experimenting and trying to figure out who they were really and
Right.
what they identified with. So it probably very much is speaking to like a more gender fluid song. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the song at all. It's just that it's moved to this pop, punk pop like kind of feel, and I'm not with it.
So what do you think about because he's had those two big alternative rock hits now with is on Monsters with All Time Low and now My Ex's Best Friend with Machine Gun Kelly. And they're both big
Okay.
rock hits.
And this is about to make me sound like such a hypocrite, but I love the song with Machine Gun Kelly.
Well, I think the one with Machine Gun Kelly, it keeps Black Bear it doesn't he doesn't try to be rock. It's a very Black Bear verse that just works with the vibe Machine Gun Kelly was going for.
Right.
Yeah.
So I haven't heard the song with All Time Low though.
Oh really? It's great. It was number one on alternative radio for a while, like this year, like several weeks,
Cool.
and now it's in the 30s, I think, on pop radio. Like it's starting to build there. It's already All Time Low's biggest hit, and it just debuted in the Hot 100 this week, thanks to
Wow.
a remix with Demi Lovato. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
So moving on to number four, a lot of people do not like this artist. I personally really like her.
Oh, okay,
um,
interesting.
so it's Do It Like Me by Bad Baby.
For anyone who is listening and might not know Bad Baby, you definitely do.
Yeah,
Uh,
you definitely do.
think Dr. Phil, think spoiled teenage girl, think Cash Me Outside, how about that? Okay, now you know Bad Baby.
Yes, that is her. Danielle Bergoli decided she was going to capitalize on a little bit of that fame she had, and she was going to rap. And she's had one album out, and the album honestly wasn't really as impressive as like some of her singles. Really, to me, one of my favorites is These Hoes. um,
Really?
yeah, and it's really kind of like cheesy, kind of teenage hip hop. You can tell people wrote it for her.
Well,
But so
she's when that song came out, she was well, I mean the Dr. Phil thing, she was literally like 13.
14, I think, 13,
Yeah.
14. So she was
So
like 15 or 16 when her first songs came out, and so whatever. So I really liked her, and she had been gone for a while. She went to rehab. There's all kinds of speculation around that, but she came back out and she dropped a song. So I was really looking forward to it, and it's a remix of an old song, but I can't remember which one.
I don't know. I hadn't heard of this song until you sent me your list because I'm
Yeah.
not. I've heard a couple of her songs, but I've never gone out of my way to hear it, and I've never dug into any of her music.
But I can't remember the song. I was trying to find it, but anyways,
Gotcha.
it's an old school like hip hop beat, and like the hook is just super repetitive, and then the verses aren't good, and like if you're gonna redo a song from back in the day, you need to bring it.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that's all. And it didn't feel like her. It felt like she was kind of trying to step more into like the uh hip hop pop category.
right.
Because a lot of her earlier stuff, I'm not gonna say it's like trap music, but it's a lot more kind of hardcore hip hop
Yeah,
than this. And so it wasn't a favorite. It was just annoying, honestly.
yeah. Oh, I definitely agree. I don't know if I finished the whole song. To be completely
I've
honest. Um,
listened to the whole song maybe twice
yeah.
through.
But you said it's a like a remake or like an interpolation of an
It
older song.
is.
So, word of advice to Bad Baby: if you're gonna remake an old song, do it like "Girls in the Hood" by Megan Thee Stallion, not "Put Your Records On" by Rip Momney.
So it's Come On and Ride It, The Train by Quad City DJs. I had never really heard of that song. Apparently it was like maybe like the 80s that it came out.
Oh
But my
wow!
friend knew it. Yeah, my friend knew it, and she was like, "Girl, she did not do this song justice." And I was like, "Okay." And like really at first I did kind of like it, but the more I listened to it, like the verses suck, the chorus is repetitive. I have no
Right.
time.
So I'm interested in the next song. So I think I have some questions. So let's get into the next one.
Okay. So coming in at number 3 is Entanglements by August Alsina and Rick Ross.
Is this a song that they released about Jada Pickett Smith?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I thought so, but I wasn't sure, and I was gonna look it up, and I forgot.
And that's honestly, that is my biggest problem with this song.
Yeah.
That you capitalize. Like to me, there was already so much commotion and controversy around that situation, anyways. And then
Uh-huh.
to capitalize on it and make a song about it and just kind of put it out there for the world to hear, I feel like that's really kind of messed up.
Yeah, I agree. And even like not even thinking about the controversy, the song itself, it's not it's
It's
not
not
good.
good.
It's really
No.
not. And I don't I've heard August Alsina. I barely remember any of his music I've heard, so I kind of went into it with fresh ears. Like I don't care. But I am not a fan of Rick Ross. It's
Oh,
just
I
he's
love
never
Rick
done it for it.
Ross.
Really? Well,
Yes.
he's a little more too hardcore rap for me, and I'm more of a melodic rap kind of person,
Right.
and so he's just not my style. I respect him. I think he's done a lot of good music.
And
Um,
I do like August Alsina. I do, but I do not appreciate how he capitalized on that situation. And
yeah,
I could say the same thing for Lemonade and then Jay-Z's follow-up album. Like maybe they shouldn't have put their business out there like that. But that was kind of in a different sense. They were coming for each other. He was just like, "Yeah, I did it. So what? Yeah, we did it." And
Exactly. And uh music is supposed to be, if you're a genuine like songwriter and stuff, a lot of times music is about like things you're going through in your personal life. So that's why celebrities, like musicians, are such big celebrities, because people like Taylor Swift or like Beyonce and Jay-Z, like you just mentioned, they put their life into their songs. There's a right way to do it, like Lemonade and 444 or most of Taylor's discography, and there's a wrong way to do it, like this.
Exactly. It was just inappropriate in my opinion.
Or
And
Justin Bieber saying that Haley's got that yummy yum.
right, like we didn't need to know that. Oh, so moving into number two, it's Yellow
That's funny.
Heart, Ant Sanders and Audrey Mika. It's the remix.
It is.
And the reason I put the remix on here is because I expected it to be better.
Yeah, because I hadn't heard this remix. I've heard the song a lot, but I hadn't heard the remix until you sent this over, and I was like, I could actually see how this should work as a duet. Like, let me go listen to this so I can tell Chelsea how wrong she is that it's on her worst list. And you were definitely right.
It's just it's not any better. Like you
It's
would
not.
it does have the potential, like you said, to be such a great duet, but that they didn't work it like a duet.
Yeah,
You
because
know, it was
I like the original Yellow Hearts. I think it's fun. Like, it's not the greatest song I've ever heard, but
right.
it was enjoyable. I heard it on the radio a little bit. Like, I played it on my radio station a little bit. I don't think I ever went out of my way to listen to it, but I thought it was fine. Like, I had no
It's
gripes
fine.
with
Like
it.
if it comes
Yeah,
on, you don't skip it. Yes, but
yeah,
this made it simply because I expected it to be better than the original, and it wasn't.
yeah. And I think if you're gonna do a remix, you're gonna add a featured artist. You need to make sure it's either the same kind of quality if it's a really good song, or it needs to make it better. And I think she actually made it worse.
Right.
In so it had the opposite effect. And I don't even know. It's weird, because Yellow Hearts was one of those songs that was bubbling under for a while. Like, it was moderate hit. It was on the Hot 100. So you would think, as a record label person, like as someone like in the A&R team or just someone part of their team, you'd want to get another artist either bubbling under, or like another artist that's going to add some actual recognition to the song.
Right.
And so it's weird that they got
Julia
this.
Michaels could have done it way better.
Oh, that would have been great. Yeah. Hey, Sanders team, whoever you are, whatever label you are, try it again. Julia, get her on the phone.
Right, right now.
Yeah. Even like, we were talking about someone like Anne Marie earlier. She could have brought something to this.
For sure. People would
Yeah.
have listened to it because of Anne Marie.
Yeah. Or like, I don't know. Yeah. But I agree. Whoever Audrey Mika is, I'm sure you're great. Not here.
So, moving into the least favorite song of the year,
Okay,
in
Chelsea,
my
before you
opinion.
before you say this, are you sure? Are you sure you want to put this out for the world to hear? Are you sure about this pick?
I'm sure.
Are you sure?
I'm like 100% positive, completely ready to put this out into the world.
Okay, well, if you're ready, go for it. I'm gonna close my ears and turn around now, okay?
Number one, Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. It just was my least favorite song of the year. I did not like it when it was released. I did not like when it gained traction over Heartless. I I just do not like the popularity that it's gained. I feel like it is one of The Weeknd's worst songs ever, and I just don't like the song.
um, I it's one of the greatest songs I think to ever be released.
And the world
Literally.
agrees with you, and I've said this 1,000 times, like, I'm generally the complete opposite of the public, and that's okay. But I just
Like, I going back, like, I've actually, for some reason, I've been listening to this song a lot more the past like few weeks. Um and I was been kicking myself that I didn't put it on my best songs of the year list. because I kind of got tired of it with Overplay, but now going back around to it, it is. I personally think it is a masterpiece. I literally have no gripes with it. I think it is absolutely incredible. One of those songs that people are going to be talking about in 50 years. So it just it I see what you're saying, but it just it's I don't even know.
No, I know, and it's cool, like, cause it probably will be talked about forever, but I just don't appreciate it. It's not his style to me. It's just wrong in so many ways, and that's why he didn't get nominated for a Grammy. That's all I'm saying, because y'all picked the wrong lead single.
I'm trying to think. I'm sure there's songs out there that are like huge hits that everyone seemed to love but me. Can't think of any off the top of my head. But sometimes like even the songs that literally every single person agrees is great, you just can't get behind no matter how hard you try. So it happens. I'm trying. I know there has to be one. I just can't think of it at the
I'm
moment.
sure there's like a Katy Perry or something that everybody loved that you hate,
Oh yeah,
or Calvin Harris,
"Roar" by Katy Perry. I think's terrible. I probably would have
or okay,
my worst
yeah,
favorite
or
song.
what about
Uh,
Girls Like You?
Girl, yeah, that would definitely be one. Song that I had for the worst song like the last decade, like when I did those lists last year, I was "Diamonds" by Rihanna. So
Yeah.
that could be one because I think for the most part
Shine
people
bright
agree
like
that's great,
diamond.
and
Yeah, see, I
I
love that song.
yeah, and I think it makes my ears bleed. So
All right. And I mean, it's really nothing against The Weeknd because I love The Weeknd. It's just I expect so much more. I expect something different.
I will say, literally this morning when I was in the shower, I had my favorite songs of the last decade. I have a playlist on Spotify of those songs, so I just had it on shuffle, playing while I was in the shower. And "False Alarm" by The Weeknd came on, which I think we've talked about before. Is my favorite song of his,
Yeah,
and it did make me think about how "Blinding Lights" is fantastic. Like in my opinion, I think it's incredible, but I still don't think it's as good as "False Alarm." I don't think it's as good as "Starboy." I don't think it's as good as "The Hills,"
it's not.
or even like from this album. I don't think it's as good as "Save Your Tears" or "In Your Eyes."
Exactly.
But it just feels like this week on the Billboard Hot 100, it fell off because of some of their like recurrent rules. A recurrent is like an old song, um,
Hmm.
and with so much Christmas music coming in, once got below um, a certain number, I don't remember what it is, maybe like 25, something like that. Maybe no, it's 20. It automatically is taken off the chart. But this week, with all the Christmas music leaving now, it re-entered at number 3, which is one of the highest re-entries of all time. So it's still, and it holds that record for the most weeks ever in the top 5.
Yeah, yeah.
It's, it's just
Numbers,
crazy.
schmumbers.
it
So,
is crazy how much longevity that song has had, though. Whether you like it or not, this song's been popular for over a year now, and it's number 3.
oh, I
Like,
know. I'm not doubting its popularity. I'm not hating on it.
yeah,
It's just not my pick, you know?
yeah.
Cause
Now, do I wish that was "In Your Eyes" instead? Kind of, but